was gonna say Vern. Say your name instead of mine. Okay, you're ready down there, ladies, then? All right, well, Mayor hasn't shown up yet. I don't know if his watch is late or what, but we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. 7:04 PM. Today's the 15th of October. We'll go ahead and get started. I'll have to pull out my agenda here. I was gonna let him use his. Okay, tonight we have Councilor Ballard, Councilor Banks, Councilor Johnson, and myself, Councilor Vice Mayor Cecil Scott in attendance. We'll have an invocation. Councilor Johnson's going to do it tonight, and then we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're very grateful to meet here tonight. Help us to be able to be worthy of thy blessings, and help us to be able to put the citizens of this town ahead of our own problems, and please bless this community and may be able to grow and prosper. These things we pray for in Jesus Christ's name.
Amen. Okay. Thank you for your participation. Do we have any public comment tonight yet turned in? No? Okay. We will proceed on then to the consent items, which contain the agenda for October the 15th, which is tonight, the minutes from October the 1st, regular meeting, and payment approval reports. Has everybody had time to at least glance at those? I think we got all the checks signed. So, motion?
I make the motion that we approve the consent items number 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, second.
Okay, it has been motioned and seconded by Councilor Banks, the first by Councilor Ballard. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, reports. The mayor's not here tonight. I don't have, because he was in town or was in town, I didn't prepare anything. Council members have anything to report on tonight? Okay, we'll proceed on then to our department heads. Skylar, you're up first. Number one man on the spot.
Yeah, let's do it. You guys got my printout report? Okay, I didn't bring my copy, so I'll just leave the floor to you. If you got any questions about what's on the report, I can brush up what's on there. It's just about talking about the dike project, sewer project. I've got a couple other little things to add, but the dike project, talked to plumber today, still waiting. He's losing a driver, so it might be a minute before we get that road base, or that chat done up there. Yeah, we're ready for him. We've been ready for a while, but he just, for whatever reason, hasn't been able to get to us. Sewer project's underway. Mognet started laying pipe today. Tapped the manhole last Thursday, so that's rocking and rolling finally. Streetlight project done, finally, completely. We're still finding out. We're still working on some paperwork. they're helping us get as much money refunded as possible, equipment, man hours. So all that's been submitted, and we're just kind of going through the paperwork to make sure we get every penny we can from that grant, so, which that shouldn't be a problem. I'm trying to remember. Then there was the, oh, and speaking of the streetlights, if you see them off for the next couple days, they're off on purpose. I turned them off tonight, just so everybody knows. I have to charge the battery. Apparently I was supposed to let them fully charge for 2 days before. The distributor told me today. And he said, you're still fine, but I guess it helps the life of the battery by letting it charge for 24 hours without any drawdown. So they'll be off for 48 hours, sorry, not 24. So anyway, so if everybody sees the solar lights off, that's why.
That's
They'll be
why.
back on in a couple days.
Okay.
I've been talking with Donnie a little bit. This ain't on the report, but there's a grant writer, Tracy got me in touch with, that John Luther guy, and we're working on doing new wells through this grant. So at first we were told that the grant was gonna be 100% covered. And basically, you know, you guys want a couple $1 million, we can get it for you. And then he kind of misspoke. We straightened it
Yeah.
out, but they'll do 40%. So they'll cover 40% of
60, 40, 60 them?
60 us.
Oh,
40 them. But I've been working and talking with Jacob Clough a little bit, and we've pretty much got it figured out what we need to do, what it's gonna cost to do new wells up on top of the canyon, get in the good Navajo, secure more water than we have rights for, and then do all that. So we're working on that, and we're gonna move some money around a little bit, maybe put off some meters for a couple of years. But then I talked to John again, he came back and he's like, we offer financing for on that 60% at only 1% interest rate. So I was supposed to have a call with John yesterday, but he had a snag with some personal stuff. So we're gonna touch base later this week and find out more who they're financing through, if it's a bank or if it's the government or whatever it is. So we're just kind of working out the finer details. So I don't have a whole lot for you now, but there's a bunch of stuff, and this guy can write 4 grants for me a year for free. So we got in touch with a really good guy, and it's all stuff that pertains to public works, infrastructure, things like that. We have a bolt together tank that they put up on that water project 12 years ago. Should've never done it. It's leaked since day one. I've reached out to a company about they got that new spray liner that they put in these tanks. They're doing it like Game and Fish is doing it on all their old umbrella tanks and stuff out there. It's awesome. It's like, I mean, it's the best, but I've talked to a couple companies and it's super expensive. So down the road, we'll have to address that. But knowing that we have this grant writer and he doesn't charge anything to us for 4 grants a year, I see some advantage of we'll be able to take in the future. And even if we do have to finance at a 1% interest, to get some of these things up to snuff and caught up and secure our water for the future and stuff like that, to me, we're not talking much. So, me and Jacob have been going back and forth, and what he's figured out in my experience, we're talking probably 500 grand for the wells, a pump house, and to run the pipe off the canyon, which ain't far, and to tie into our existing system, so as cheap as possible.
Would that be under this 60-40 grant,
Yeah,
all of that?
yeah.
Oh,
He said there's a ton of money available. He's like, if you want $4 million, we give you $4 million. He's like,
but
what?
if it's 4
It's
million.
still 60-40, but we're talking like maybe $500,000 to do this project, so we're only gonna be financing a couple $100,000. You know, not much, maybe $300,000, give or take, you know, give or take. This is all just not to the penny right now, but just kind of letting you guys know what we're looking into, what options have come available to us recently. So we're just trying to get something like that done. We have the water rates available, we have the state trust land there, permitting through the state trust, because all of our wells are already on state trust, so it's already part of our lease. It's like a 15-minute phone call, and then you drill whatever you need to do. You do what you need to do. So super easy, power's already right there. That's where the power comes into the canyon to feed our existing wells. So expense is not bad. It's not bad at all, considering, you know what I mean? And be able to pull 400 gallons a minute out of there, which would be phenomenal. You know, not that we need it now, but at least it's there. Even if that well just sits there and we just cycle it a couple times a year to keep it going, it's there when we need it, you know. But, to me, that's my top priority. So, I mean, obviously water's always top priority. So anyway, that's in the works.
Awesome.
That's getting there. Kaibab project is working on the sidewalk, a little slower than anticipated, but we're getting there. A little over 50%. Should be done before too long, he said. I talked to him yesterday. So I told him, I'm like, we need to get going because asphalt's gotta be 55 and rising to pave. So we need to get it done before, we need to take advantage of the warm weather in October is what I'm getting at. So hopefully we'll check that bucket off too. And the pit out at the burn pile, I don't think I put that on the report. But anyway, the pit at the burn pile is done. So this week, we're going up the canyon tomorrow, doing some projects tomorrow. But Thursday, we're gonna start pushing in that burn pile, or the ash and all that good stuff that we've been working on. So that's almost done too. So we're finally getting some irons put out finally. So anyway, I think I'm probably just rambling now, but do you have any questions?
No, that's all good news for me. Thank you.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Very
All right.
much so.
All right.
The thing that people don't realize when they hear, well, he's gonna do it for nothing, there is a line in any grant like that that is,
The grant pays.
that's right. That's
But
what I
it
was just
doesn't
gonna
really
say.
necessarily come out
It's
of our
just,
pocket.
it does not come out of our pocket as such, it's part of the grant.
Right.
And
But at the end of the
so,
day, if it gets us where we need to
That's
be,
why-
it gets us the product we need done, if we even had to pay the guy, I don't know what it is.
No,
Let's just say
that-
$10,000.
no, that's what I'm saying,
it's good,
it's good, it is paid for, it's not something that we're gonna get surprised with later on.
Exactly,
Because there is a salary line,
right. Well, he
on
said
any
something
grant
about
that's
it,
written.
Like, whatever company,
Yeah.
or, I can't remember, and forgive me for not remembering the names and stuff, but, somehow, that's just how it works, that, you know, if we
Yeah.
want, we can have him write 20 grants a year, whatever we want, we can have him write a grant a week, but he'll do 4 a year for free, which for a system like us and what we're gonna be able to afford and stuff, that should be more than enough, so.
I just didn't want the rest of the people
No, for
to
sure, for sure, it's
misunderstand.
not taxpayer dollars, it's not coming out of
Yeah.
Fredonia's pocket, you know, what will be coming out of Fredonia's pocket is water. And securing our water source, and securing it, like I said, with that, we will maximize the water rights that are available to us in Utah as of right now, and, which is a significant amount of water, and I don't see any issues, you know, there might be issues, but it'll be probably long after any of our time, so. If there ever is, you know, but for now, that's what we can do, and it'll be good, so, I'm excited.
Okay,
So, anyway, you got any questions, you guys got my number, so.
Thanks.
All right, guys.
so
Thanks.
appreciate it, Skylar.
Have a good night, everybody. See you later.
Okay. The police department for report for September, you wanna come up and talk about it? Not really, but okay.
I'll make a quick list. I know this has been overdue. I was supposed to come and talk a while back. We were able to talk to ADOT. They were able to add some more 35 signs, take away 45 signs to actually slow traffic down. It's kind of worked a little bit, but not much. Let's see, I did a walkthrough at the police academy the other week with Josh. Josh is doing really good in the academy. I like the academy. It's pretty, it's squared away. I think he'd be good. He'll be a good officer, pretty good, so.
We got new paint on the crosswalk up there today.
Yeah, we got new paint done. I've talked to them and they're thinking or gonna work with me to see about adding 2 more crosswalks.
Ah, good.
From the library and then from the fire station over to the short stop, so.
Well, see, and that's things that used to be there,
Right.
but because we're not flag staff,
So
they disappeared.
How far into the academy is
He's only 3 weeks for, this is his 4th week.
Oh,
so,
he's-
yeah, so he starts.
He's just getting started.
Yep. All right.
Appreciate it.
Set it up.
Okay, Serena Cutchin.
Good where the speed signs have gone out, the 45 was taken out. I took a picture, I was gonna send it to you. My car now says it's 100 miles per hour. Maybe that's why people are speeding. Just from where that 45's gone, my car pops up a speed limit and it goes from 35 to 100 miles per hour. I'm like, what is this? I took a picture so if anyone wants to see. No, it's not my speedometer. It's like the little GPS speed limit sign. So I don't know. Maybe some of our tourists think they can travel 100 miles per hour right there. That might explain some of the things we see in town. All right. Well, good evening. I'm going to report on the month of September for the Fredonia Municipal Court. During September, we processed 169 new citations, or excuse me, new charges. Some of these citations had more than one charge. The bulk of those were civil traffic. We processed 167 civil traffic charges. There were 2 criminal traffic. One was criminal speed and one was liquor and vehicle passenger possession, which would be open container. It looks like a passenger had an open container. Those 2 were both criminal traffic violations. This month in the municipal court, we didn't have any regular criminal citations issued or petty offense or town code violations. During the month, we processed total fines in the amount of $41,030.84, and of that $41,030.84, $18,362.84 comes directly back to the town general fund. Again, that's just the town general fund, not police department, courts, any other departments.
But that 18,000 is just for the month of September.
Just for the month of September. Yeah. And if you look, I've included in the packet the year-to-date statistics. I actually have a running 4-year summary in there. In your packet, you'll have our monthly report, the citation log that just gives you an idea of what kind of citations are being issued. And then we have our annual statistics. And you can see that for this year, 2024, so far, the court has processed 1,786 citations for a total fine amount year-to-date of $400,666,803. So 198,232 has come back to the general fund. So close to 200,000 has been put into the general fund from our citations. So you can kind of review those annual statistics if you'd like. Do you have any questions for me regarding the court?
No, I can't catch up with you.
I'll let you catch up. We do have a new position posted with the IGA that's in the process of being signed. It's approving, and we discussed this a couple months back before the budget. We do have a new position posted, which will be an additional 40-hour clerk to help Dusty manage all this work. So we're hoping to have that position filled and hired around the 1st of November. So we're hoping to interview next week, starting next week, maybe the end of next week. All right, any questions? Okay, thank you.
So much for your service.
Thank you.
And Dusty for at least trying to keep up. Okay. I think Counselor Ballard asked to be excused. I think he's going out to make a phone call, trying to find the mayor. Okay, if I can find my agenda here again. Okay, town office updates. You had some material for us tonight?
Well, I really don't have material. Brittany has a letter she's gonna read. We have hired a new librarian. Tanya is retiring as of November 1st. She's been wonderful, and I think Serena, Cram will be, Sheena Cram will be really good too. We have, the deeds have been signed for Sunnybrook. Part of the road was, Denny, who was it? Denny
and Barry Judge.
Denny and Barry Judd's property, but it was part of the road. So they signed over the deeds so that we could claim that as part of the town. And, with us getting back the payroll in-house, this month we saved almost $2,700 just by getting that back in-house. And our next project will be getting the invoicing back in, which will save another 2,000 at least, so we're getting there.
Just as an explanation for the rest of you, on the Sunnybrook that she mentioned there was a strip of property, 30 feet by about 170-something feet long, that somehow in the initial, when they developed the subdivision over on the east side of town, it got skipped. And we found out that part of the road and part of the walkway along the side of the road didn't actually belong to the town. But it was the owners that brought it to our attention. They signed it over to us. It didn't cost the town anything, so we've got that. We just need to send it down to Coconino County now to get it properly notarized and everything, so. Just catching up on every little tidbit that we can here.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Brittany's gonna read the
Brittany.
letter.
Hi. Okay, we received this letter via email. I would like to read it, and you guys each have a copy of that. Dear Mayor Johnson and members of the Town Council, first let me begin by saying that your dedication and loyalty to the town of Fredonia have not gone unnoticed, and I thank you for that. My name is Charlene Hellstrom. I am the daughter of Ken and Marilyn Birch, whom some of you may know, and yes, Tracy Stump is my sister, which is why I'm reading this letter. But these words alone have no reflection or bearing of her whatsoever. I grew up here in Fredonia and graduated from Fredonia High School in 1982. Although I haven't lived there for many years, I still have a great love for the community, and like you, I want to see a successful town that we can all proud to call home. It is well known the fact the reputation and quality of a school can greatly affect success of the town as a whole. I'm saddened to see that the town seems to be taking a downward trajectory over the years. Just during the past 3 years, I've noticed numerous events that are concerning me. Number 1, reports of students assaulting staff. Number 2, losing teachers and staff due to them not being supported by the leadership positions. Number 3, elective classes are no longer being offered, such as woodshop, welding, drama, choir, or band. Number 4, for the first time in decades, there's no longer a football team. Number 5, numerous parents are pulling their children from Fredonia to enroll in Kanab, Colorado City, or homeschool. Number 6, administration seems to be focused, on the real estate ventures rather than education of our town's children. Which brings me to this. Through the research, I found that rental properties can bring down home value of a single-family home by 13%. So while school is focusing on jamming all these multifamily rentals into prime real estate pieces, they are actually harming the residents in surrounding areas. Therefore, it is my hope that City Council and Planning and Zoning will take a look at this project and consider if this land would be better to serve the community with zoning for single-family homes to sell or work out something for the town to acquire to future development that would be better suit the town, such as community centers, parks, community gardens, splash park, etc. For school to claim that this property is needed for the teacher housing is simply not true. Number 1, there is only one teacher renting the existing duplex. Number 2, with all these new homes and the agenda to be built, there'll be an ample amount of opportunity for housing. Number 3, never before has a school had to entice teachers to come by offering housing. Now, I'm not here to bring discontent or hard feelings, but I think it is time to look hard at how the school is operating. It's come to my attention that the school superintendent has no previous attention in the day-to-day operations of school, and this is because the students and towns are the ones that are there to suffer. Although if the principal and superintendents are siblings, that brings me to nepotism into the question. I think it's great when locals can be hired to serve the community, but in this instance, with so much at stake, I wonder if it is time to ask ourselves if they're really in for the best fit for representative of the job. Or is it time to ask them to gracefully step down and bring someone in that has knowledge and experience that is needed to give the students the best education experience available? The students of Fredonia are too important for these positions to be used as training grounds. I do recognize that I'm talking about two separate entities, the town and the school, but I believe working together with a common interest and vision of what town of Fredonia is going to look like in 5, 10, 30 years down the road, great things can happen. I kindly thank you, Charlene Hellstrom.
Thank you. Okay. We have, under, it's not a number, under section C, action items, discussion and possible action regarding ADOT driver's license division. Colleen, do you have something to report on that for us?
Well, it isn't a report. I'm not in any way representing ADOT. I'm just representing interests that I think would benefit the town, because I have done as much as I can. I work at the port, and I have tried to get them to be interested in putting one of those self-directed kiosks like they have in Littlefield at our port, so that you could get some MVD services. But I feel like when we lost Christy, that somehow interest seems to have waned, at least from the ADOT perspective. I can't get much more out of work than that I could go look at the kiosk in Littlefield and see what it looks like. But there doesn't seem to be much motivation anymore in pushing to get that in our port. And I think that it would be really beneficial to the community, because all the way from Colorado City up to about halfway to Page, well, not if you're not in Arizona, but you know, all these communities like Moccasin and us could really use a little MVD, and it wouldn't be a full-on like you would have in Page. I don't think we would be likely to be given driving tests. I don't think that's ever likely to come, unless down the road maybe they'd change their mind. But I think maybe with some requesting to someone in the Arizona Department of Transportation from the town, that they might be more motivated. That's what I'm thinking.
So where we're at with that is they flew up here in a Learjet owned by ADOT with 12 individuals in the Learjet, and they came and met with us and said, we have no money. And the whole point of everybody in town pushing for that was not for it to be a commercial inspection port, but for exactly what you're saying. And at this point, they've pretty much told us, when they flew in their Learjet with 12 people, they said, we have no money and we cannot staff it. So who could you suggest as to, because it's not just the town of Fredonia, it would benefit.
Oh, yeah, like,
Who do
Whom?
you know that we can start making phone calls to, Becky?
okay, so, first of all, the Department of Transportation, Arizona Department of Transportation, I guess, did decide that they have funding now into 8 years in the future, so at least they know they exist 8 years into the future, so that must have been a little bit of comfort to them.
That way they can keep their Learjet.
So,
Being small.
no, I know you're not. I heard about, I mean, it was before I started working there, but I did hear that they'd come and all that, you know, but it didn't seem to work positively in the town's favor in terms of MVD.
No,
So,
it didn't.
yeah, so which is why I brought it up to my sergeant about, isn't there something somehow that we can do? And he's the one who mentioned that Littlefield has a self-directed kiosk, which does not take as much, like it doesn't take full-time staffing for it, right? It's mostly people using it on their own unless they get stuck, and then someone can say, oh, here's how the machine works. And I thought from that perspective, I could learn that much.
How long have you worked there now?
I have been with ADOT since March.
So, at your experience there, even if they gave us one person, Rhea
Right.
that whole office, and you could go in there anytime. Could one person do that? Cause they talk, well, we need staffing and all this.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to hire anyone to specifically do MVD, which is why I thought, well, if we just get a kiosk, could the fact that I'm already there and issuing permits and have time in between, can I at least be available to answer questions at the self-directed kiosk? So I thought perhaps if we approached it from that angle, maybe they would restart.
The other thing that we have fought, and I was at the original meeting when one brother of a past governor here in Arizona happened to be our county commissioner. And that's how long that they have been trying to get stuff shut down, including the courts. Because I was at that original meeting when one of our DPS officers who resides here in town, and we all stood up and they didn't get it done until COVID hit, and they got a lot of it shut down before that. But see, we can't get the support of our county commissioners to even go to the state MVD or anybody else for support, to
Okay.
support us in our attempts and efforts. Because even the county was trying to get everything shut down in Fredonia. And it has been going on clear back since the late 90s and into the 2000s. So it is a problem. We are very aware of it, but just to let you know that it's bigger than what it appears on the surface, because the county
Isn't backing you
they
up.
have actually tried to shut it down also.
Well, at least you can say the port's open.
Who is your sergeant?
Sergeant Mark Cooper, and he has been here I know he's talked about being in those meetings.
Is, whenever the port's open, is Mark Cooper there?
No, he's in St. George most of the time, but he comes sometimes. He comes here in Page because he's over that area.
If I stop by up there, could you give me a phone number?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
I
We'll
know-
keep
I
trying.
know
I'm
some
not
of
ready
that
to give up on this
information is-
thing because I think we need the MVD here.
Goes by, it's necessary.
Yeah, we just get more people, not less, so it's just even, it doesn't have to be absolutely every service that an MVD allows, but if you could just register your car and renew your license, wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
appreciate your help.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll turn the page here and see what we've got. Did you call Dawn?
No, he called me, his clutch went out of the old hole with one of the calves. They just barely pulled him into St. George, so he asked if number 3 could be put off for 2 weeks when he's here.
Okay.
He asked if it would be possible to reschedule for tomorrow, but we'd have to do 24 hours.
Yeah, we have to do 24 hours on posting notice for special meetings.
And there were some things he wanted to address, so I think it would be better to just put number 3 off for 2 weeks.
Okay,
We can
How
discuss
much-
that when we get to it.
okay. Discussion and possible action regarding appointing a chief fiscal officer. What that is as an explanation to members and for our audits and whatnot like that, we have to actually put it in writing that the town clerk is the chief fiscal officer. And so that's what we're trying to do. It's in your sheets back in the back.
And this is an annual thing
That's
that we have to do.
just
so-
about, yeah,
and
because of
what-
the audits.
And what we've done in the past, if we were to do that with you, are you okay with that, Tracy? I make a motion then that we appoint Tracy Stump a clerk
Second? Okay. Counselor Banks seconded it. All in favor? Aye. In the negative, nobody. Okay. Item number 3, and this is what we were talking about because of the absence of the mayor tonight. Do we need to motion that? Table it? Okay. Do you want a motion? Let's just do it just to make sure that we're covered here, because it is pretty important.
That we, under the action items, that we table number 3 for the next meeting.
Second?
I'll second.
Counselor Johnson? All in favor? Aye. Okay, that concludes our agenda then for tonight. So it is, yes.
On, 2 things that were brought up, one of them was the paper, from Charlene Hellstrom. And, I know as a town, we have tried to separate that out. There were some things done when those homes were built that kind of went.
Yeah, the federal government kind of says, well, we're bigger than you, we can do what we want to do.
But there is on that remaining property, if the people in town, get together and request some of this stuff to be done, and I don't, all we can do as a town is to, I don't know, appoint a liaison, and as far as encouraging people in town, there are some things that could be done.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that would be worth putting on an agenda so that people could be aware of it, and we could have discussion and.
Well, I know that, at least what the information that I was given when I came on board, which was after the construction began and everything, is that the federal government says, well, we're going to do it our way, and your planning and zoning does not supersede us. So it kind of puts us in a hole. And I can appreciate hearing, and I do appreciate hearing from community members, but like you're saying, it's gonna take the community members going to the other meeting of the school board rather than to town council, because the federal government is overriding us on these things.
There is, if the people of the town
Mhm.
request certain things regarding vacant property that belongs to the school, something could be done. So I say let's put that on a future agenda item. And I will go, talk with Mrs. Kohler, and I'll get a phone number from Mark Cooper and keep this going on that.
Okay.
And I think she's correct, but the only thing we can do is just keep punching.
Well, and I know that I have had some people here in town talk about how the present county commissioner, who is Lena Fowler, has been good in helping, so you might approach her if you're going to do it along with that, to see if we can get some support from Coconino County, because I know that at one time there was nothing there from Coconino County. So, okay. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out tonight. It's 7:43. We'll declare meeting adjourned.